Hello student, today I am going to teach you myocardial infarction. The myocardial infarction is also known as heart attack. So here you see the myocardial infarction, also called heart attack. The heart attack or myocardial infarction, there is death of cardiac muscles due to prolonged severe ischemia. So in the previous class, so you discuss the difference between the ischemia and hypoxemia. So in the ischemia there is reduced blood supply. In the hypoxemia there is a reduced oxygen supply to the tissue or the organs. The incidence of myocardial infarction. The myocardial infarction occur at any age. The frequency of MI rises with increasing age, so also called disease of old. The incidence in the elderly is 45% in 65-year-olds, in young person 10% in 40 years old, and blacks and whites are equally affected. Sex. The males are usually more vulnerable than the females, and women are protected against the myocardial infarction in the reproductive age group because there is a secretion of the estrogen. So in the reproductive age group there is a more secretion of the estrogen. So estrogen have the antithrombotic effect or the cholesterol losing effect. So the women are protected against the myocardial infarction in the reproductive age group. The postmenopausal age have the high risk ethnic, same in African and Americans. Risk factors. The major modifiable risk factors are the diabetes mellitus, hypertension, smoking, hypercholesterolemia, means there is a increase in level of the cholesterol in the blood. Hormone replacement therapy for the postmenopausal females will not protect the heart. So statistics is about 1.5 million suffer annually in United States. Approximately 250,000 deaths occur per year. 30% mortality within first 2 hours, and 45 minutes of ischemia. There is cardiac muscles death occurs. Now the what is the pathogenesis behind the myocardial infarction? So there is coronary arterial occlusion. So the most common cause of the myocardial infarction or the coronary arterial occlusion is atherosclerosis in more than 90% of the cases. So this is the most common cause. In 10% cases में the most important is the vasospasm. The sequence of events, the most important mechanism is sudden changes in the atheromatous plaque. The changes may be the intraplaque hemorrhage, erosion, ulceration, or the rupture or fissuring of the atheromatous plaque. So in myocardial infarction, so there is exposure of subendothelial collagen or necrotic plaque content. So if there is exposure of subendothelial collagen, the platelet adhere and activated, and platelet release the granules, the secretory granules. The granules are the thromboexane A2 and ADP, adenosine diphosphate. So there is a more and more platelet aggregation and lead to formation of microthrombi and vasospasm that happens within minutes. Then there is a activation of the tissue factor thromboplastin. So tissue factor is thromboplastin that activate the coagulation pathway, mainly the extrinsic coagulation pathway. Within minutes, thrombus completely occlude the lumen of the artery. So irreversible changes after 30 minutes of the ischemia, there is irreversible changes occurs in the myocytes and ATP depleted 10% of the normal. The mechanism of the cell death of the myocardial infarction is necrosis. The necrosis type is there is usually coagulative necrosis. So this is the flow chart behind the acute myocardial infarction. So ischemic necrosis of a part of myocardium in a typical MI is there is sudden disruption of an atheromatous plate. So platelet adhere, aggregate and becomes activated. So release of potent secondary aggregators like thromboxane A2, adenosine diphosphate and serotonin that may lead to more and more platelets come into the contact with the endothelial layers and there is a platelet aggregation. Other mediators activate the extensive pathway of the coagulation, vasospasm, platelet aggregation and mediators release within minutes. The thrombus can evolve to the completely occlude the coronary lumen of the coronary vessel. So this is the flow chart behind the acute myocardial infarction. So how the thrombus form due to the coronary arterial occlusion. So effect of ischemia on myocytes. So within second, so there is a one set of ATP depletion. Within 2 minutes, there is loss of contractility and ATP reduced to 50% of the normal within 10 minutes and 10% of the normal within 30 minutes. Irreversible injury start within 20 to 40 minutes and microvascular injury occur after 1 hour. In 10% of the cases, so in 90% of the cases, the most important causative mechanism for the myocardial infarction is the atherosclerosis. In 10% of the cases, the myocardial infarction occur in absence of coronary pathology. In 10%, there is a vasospasm. So vasospasm with or without coronary atherosclerosis in association with platelet aggregation or due to the cocaine abuse. So emboli from left atrium in association with arterial fibrillation like infective endocarditis, prosthetic material or paradoxical embolism. So all these disease may also lead to the myocardial infarction. Ischemia without detectable coronary atherosclerosis and thrombosis like vasculitis, sickle cell anemia and shock that may also lead to the coronary arterial blockage. So vasculitis or the sickle cell anemia, there is a sickling effect of the RBC, so that may lead to the turbulence of the blood or turbulent blood flow, and there is a stasis of blood, and finally there is a formation of thrombus. So partial or total occlusion of one or more of the coronary arteries due to an atheroma, thrombus, emboli resulting in cell death or infraction of the heart muscles. When an MI occurs, there is usually involvement of 3 or 4 occluded coronary vessels. So in the diagram, there is a blockage in the right coronary artery. Now the gross morphological pattern of myocardial infarction. So usually there is a 2 variants of myocardial infarction in the gross. One is the transmural infarct and other is the subendocardial infarct. So in the transmural infarction, the ischemic necrosis involves the full or nearly the full thickness of the left ventricular wall from endocardium to epicardium. Usually the anterior free wall and posterior free wall and septum with extension into the right ventricular wall occur in 15 to 30% of the cases, usually associated with coronary atherosclerosis, acute plaque changes and superimposed completely obstructive thrombosis. Isolated infarcts of right ventricle and right atrium are extremely rare. Now second is the subendocardial infarction. So in the endocardial myocardial infarction, the multifocal area of necrosis confined to the inner 1/3 or at most one half of the left ventricular wall may extend laterally beyond the perfusion territory of the single coronary artery. In majority of the cases, there is diffuse stenosis of coronary atherosclerosis or mural thrombus with variable obstruction. So these do not show the same evolution of changes seen in the transmural infraction. So these are the different variants of the myocardial infarction in the morphological picture. So the difference. So what are the basic difference? So transmural infarct usually the involve the full thickness of the ventricular. So here you see in the diagram, so involve the full thickness of the ventricular wall from epicardium to endocardium. But in the subendocardial infarction usually involve the inner one third to half of the ventricular wall. So here shown in the diagram. So there is in the transmural infraction there is a superimposed thrombus in atherosclerosis. In the subendocardial there is a decreased circulating blood volume due to the shock, hypotension or the lyse thrombus. Transmural there is usually focal changes. In the subendocardial infraction there is a circumferential involvement. In the ECG finding there is a ST elevation infarct or there is a no ST elevation infarct. Now the localization of the infraction. So all of you know the usually the heart supply of the heart is the coronary artery. The branches of coronary artery usually three main branches. One is the left anterior descending coronary artery that involve the 40 to 50% of the cases. In the MI, right circumflex coronary artery in 30 to 40% of the cases, and left circumflex coronary artery that involve the 15 to 20% of the cases. So if there is an anterior infraction usually involve the occlusion of left coronary artery, the branches is left anterior descending coronary artery, subdivision anterior-septal, lateral or anterolateral. If infraction is inferior wall, then involvement of right coronary occlusion, but occasionally circumflex occlusion may occur. If there is posterior infraction, usually involve the right and circumflex system. See here in the diagram you see the coronary artery, left coronary artery branches is left anterior descending and left circumflex coronary artery and right coronary artery. So localization of the infraction. Now the morphology, the gross and microscopic appearance of an infarct depend on the duration of survival of the patient following the myocardial infarction. So this is the very important. The gross and microscopic appearance of the infarction depend upon the duration of the survival of a patient following myocardial infarction. The predominant mechanism of cell death in myocardial infarction is the ischemic coagulative necrosis. MI less than 12 hours old are usually not apparent on gross examination. The morphological features of acute myocardial infarction depends on the location, severity, rate of development of coronary obstruction by atherosclerosis and thrombosis, size of vascular bed perfused by obstructed vessels, duration of occlusion, metabolic or oxygen needs of myocardium atherix, extent of collateral vessels, presence, site and severity of arterial spasm, and other factors like heart rate, cardiac rhythm, and blood oxygenation. Now the ischemic injury of myocytes occur first in the subendocardial zone. Then with more extended ischemia, a wave front of cell death moves through the myocardium to involve the transmural thickness. So the MI or the ischemic necrosis start from the subendocardial zone, then goes to the epicardial layer. Ischemic coagulative necrosis is usually complete within 6 hours of onset of severe myocardial ischemia. So here you see the progression of myocardial necrosis after coronary arterial occlusion. So how the involvement of the myocytes due to the necrosis occur, or the extension of the necrosis. So here you see within 0 hours, so there is a obstruction of the coronary artery, either thrombosis or the vasospasm. After 2 hours, the extension of the ischemic necrosis or the ischemic coagulative necrosis, and after 12 hours, so there is a involvement of the whole myocytes from endocardium to epicardium in the transmural infarcts. So these are the how the progression of the myocardial infarction or the ischemic necrosis occur. Now the events of sequence. So these are the sequence. So first of all, there is a necrosis, coagulative necrosis. Then the necrotic debris are infiltrated by the neutrophils. Then infiltration by the macrophages, phagocytosis of the debris, granulation tissue formation, and finally there is a scar formation. So these are the event of the sequence that all of you see. So in the day one there is a necrosis, then there is a neutrophil appearance, macrophage or appearance, and phagocytosis, granulation tissue, and fibrosis. So now you see the time or the duration, then appearance of the gross picture and microscopic picture. So this is already given in the Robbins book. So what happens if the within 0 to half an hour? So in the gross picture there is no any finding. Microscopic picture is there is no any finding. Within half to 4 hours, gross picture is none. In microscopic picture there is usually no any finding, but there is a variable waviness of the fiber at borders. Waviness means there is a looseness of the fiber. 4 to 12 hours there is a dark mottling that may be the occasional. And microscopic picture there is a early coagulative necrosis, edema, and hemorrhage. Within 12 to 24 hours there is a dark mottling appearance, ongoing coagulation necrosis, myocyte hypereosinophilia, marginal contraction band necrosis formation, and early neutrophilic infiltrates in the myocytes. Within 1 to 3 days, mottling, dark mottling with yellow tan infarct center. Microscopic picture there is a coagulation necrosis with loss of nuclei and striation, bricks interstitial infiltrate of the neutrophils. In 3 to 7 days, the borders are hyperemic, center yellow tan, then and softening, and beginning of the disintegration of the dead myofibers with dying neutrophils, early phagocytosis of the dead cells by the macrophages, जिसको हम लोग phagocytosis बोलते हैं at infarct border. Within 7 to 10 days, maximally yellow tan and soft border with depressed red tan margin, and there is well developed phagocytosis of dead cells, early formation of fibrovascular granular tissue at the margins. So in 10 to 14 days, gross pictures are there is red gray depressed infarct borders. In microscopy there is well established granular tissue formation with new blood vessels and collagen deposition. In 2 to 8 weeks, gray white scar formation, progressive from border toward core of the infarct, increased collagen deposition with decreased cellularity in microscopic finding. After 2 months, there is scarring is complete, and there is formation of dense collagenous scar in the microscopy. If you see in the electron microscopy, there is relaxation of the myofibrils and glycogen loss and membrane disruption and myocardial swelling and density. So you see this finding in the electron microscopy. So these are the different histological finding or the histological slide that depend upon the duration in the different time zone. So in fact day 0, so there is a fiber eosinophilia and there is a contraction band necrosis. So there you see the eosinophilic myocytes and there is a diagram that show the contraction band necrosis development in the myocytes. So then there is a hypereosinophilia. Here you see these are the different myocytes and there is a hypereosinophilic myocytes. In fact, in day 1, so there gradually there is a hemorrhage, necrosis, and early neutrophilic infiltrate. So these are the different necrotic area. These are the hemorrhage, and there is a infiltration of the neutrophils. Now the interstitial infiltration of the neutrophils. So there is infiltration of the neutrophils in the interstitium of the myocytes. In fact, day 3, there is a myocytes necrosis, pycnosis, that is the pycnotic nucleus and marked neutrophilic infiltrate. So here you see in the diagram there is a coagulative necrosis. So all these are the coagulative necrosis with hypereosinophilic myocytes. So in fact day 7, so yellow necrotic infarct with hyperemic border. So these are the yellow necrotic infarcts. These are the gross picture. In day 10, there is a granulation tissue formation after macrophage phagocytosis of the infected cells. In day 19, so there is subendocardial acellular fibrous scar formation. So here you see these are the acellular fibrous scar. So these are the subendocardial acellular fibrous scar in the microscopic finding. So the diagram that show the 1 day oval infarct. So there is a wavy fibers, coagulation necrosis up to 3 days duration, neutrophilic infiltrates. Within 1 to 2 weeks, there is a granulation tissue formation, and finally after 3 weeks or 90 days, there is a complete scarring of the infracted area. So myocardial infarction, the early recognition of the acute MI can be difficult. If the patient died at least 2 to 3 hours after the infarct, the area of necrosis highlighted by the immersion of the tissue slice in a solution of TTC. So TTC is the histochemical stain. So these are the special stain, so that is known as the triphenyl tetrazolium chloride, that detect and stain the mahogany brown color with lactate dehydrogenase. So an unstained pale area that may that show the infected area, and mahogany brown that is big red, so that show the viable area, and white and glistening. So these are the scarring area. So here you see in the diagram these are the big red or the mahogany brown. So these are the viable myocytes, and these are the pale or white area. So these are the infected area. So thank you. So this is all about the myocardial infarction. In the next class, I teach you about the laboratory diagnosis of the myocardial infarction and different complications arises due to the post myocardial infarction. Thank you.